Hey, what's going on, everyone? Demetrius Mack here, and welcome to the Week 6 recap of the NFL Fantasy Wrath League. We have here back, as promised, you guys last week. The commissioner is back. Man, who's got this thing started. Who was responsible for all this? Phil, how you doing, man?
Today I'm doing good. Overall, with this league, I'm not doing so good. But
me and you both.
As a commissioner, it's my responsibility to maintain the integrity of the league, and I'll do that all the way through, no matter how bad I'm losing.
Hey, that's what's up. I've spoken like a true leader, true commissioner, man. But as usual, we're going to start off with a recap of last week. And some good news on my end. Not so much for our league commissioner, but we'll, we're still, we're both 2-4. You know, it's still time. There's still time left in this league for us, Phil. We can do good here.
Oh
so.
Man, at the very least, I'm gonna hate on somebody.
Yeah, like I already got an idea of what that 8 is, but as usual, starting off with my game, I won 82-71. I think primarily why I won this game, and it is very easy to say, is the disappointing job simply done by my opponent. I gotta say, he left. He didn't have a kicker. I don't think he had a kicker anywhere. His kicker was on a bye last week. Was it? Was that it? The Minnesota. Okay, yeah. He didn't move anything. Los Angeles Rams got dismantled by Detroit. Gave him no points. And we both have Denver Bronco receivers. Neither one of them played worth a damn. And especially mine, Demarius. For the few points he did get, he had to get a fumble for me. But luckily, I still came out with a win. And at the end of the day, our quarterbacks really led our teams. Tom Brady with 27 points, Andy Dalton with 21. But I just had a little bit more oomph from my team. You know, Christine Michael almost brought him out scared. He was going to go off for like 30-something points because it seemed like it. And he's rolling over there. But my defense really came up. My defense came up really big for me. 14 points. Hopefully this week they got a tough matchup with Minnesota. I don't know how that sounds like a 3-6 game. I'm hoping it's like that. I know other people got opinions because they got players playing on those teams. They need more points than that. But I need a low-scoring game from Minnesota, absolutely. So that's what's went on in my game.
Oh, well, let's talk about your opponent's bench.
Well, you know what? His bench did go off. You know, where is his bench? I was going to leave that out of it. Oh, man.
I mean, you also had somebody on the bench go off. I mean, you chose the right quarterbacks. It was amazing because they all went off, and you still got the one with the most points, which is Brady. And then you had Terrence West go off, and the only place you would have filled that in was you could have put him in your flex position instead of Landry. That probably would have got you the most maximum points. Or, if you did that and put in Gore instead of Devontae. But who would have done that, right?
That's true.
But for Force, Spencer Ware, 22 points on the bench. Brandon Cooks, 23 points on the bench. That could have helped a lot.
Yeah, looking at that, I mean, he has a lot of people like that were on the bench. I mean, Spencer Ware, Brandon Cooks. But, you know, I can kind of not blame him for Spencer Ware. But for Brandon Cooks... But for Brandon Cooks, it's kind of like he kind of should have been because, you know, it was a divisional game and good Lord, it's just a lot. He should. I think he should have been in a divisional matchup versus obviously not the same Carolina team. So he should have been in. But hey, he wasn't. I've been there. I've made that mistake. I needed this W. I really did. So thank God I made the right decisions and it's all worked out for me. So now I guess we're ready to move on to probably. This has got to be the most frustrating loss and most satisfying win that we might see all season. Because winning by 0.6 points is like that. 0.6 points. It's like I'm trying to see here and trying to man, somebody screwed up. And since Zay's team, you know, was the one who took the loss, he's finally 5-1. I've been waiting for this all season because we can't have anybody going undefeated for so long, man. And honestly, he could have been like, okay, he could have had Michael Floyd in, but for who? I mean, Fozzie Whitaker, he didn't know that Jonathan Stewart was back. So it is in his own right, his own fault that he didn't take that.
And he could have put in Yeldon, and that would have won him the game because that's how close this was.
Yeah, that really is.
If he would have had Yeldon in instead of Whitaker, he would have won the game.
And of course, this star-studded team, the Murder Bonus was led by Rob Gronkowski because obviously that dual threat between these tight ends is going to be back in the Patriots, and I have Tom Brady, but I have no tight end. So it doesn't defeat the purpose, but like it would be awesome to have one of those tight ends. I'm just gonna put that out there right now. I do have the running back, and I do have their number one air quotations receiver, but I don't know if he's gonna be that anymore.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, we don't know if they're gonna even use. Is James White gonna be their number one receiver? Like what?
It could be.
We don't know what's gonna go on over there.
Hogan. Who knows? Depends on the week, how Tom Brady's feeling, and what he had for breakfast that day.
Yeah, that pretty much, because I don't know. I feel like I just can't overall just willingly just trust Julian Edelman to put in the game. But, yeah, that's my problem I got to deal with. But a low-scoring affair for Ben Roethlisberger, primarily due to his injury. In fact, entirely due to his injury.
Man.
That's going to hit hard, and I'll get into that because my opponent this week is the Murder Boners, and I will get into why that's so big. Along with another factor coming up later in our last segment of the show, but
it affects me too, and we'll get there.
But man, it's a big loss, like for Ben Roethlisberger owners out there, because he is one of the top performing quarterbacks right now, and he's got a plethora of threats. So yeah, with losing him would definitely be big for you. So moving on to the Suge Knights, the kid got next. And right here was decided by one man alone, David Johnson. I mean, God almighty. What does he have, like something like 60s plus fantasy points in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Past 2 weeks, yeah.
That's harsh. That's harsh to go up against, and you're like, man, like, is he going to slow down? I mean, I remember last year, Devontae Freeman kind of had like a little error like that where he put up like 27 and 30, and then it was like crazy like that, and I was fortunate enough to have him on my team. But this, like, David Johnson is getting far more carries than Devontae Freeman ever got, and it just looks like to be he's hogging up a lot of attention from other people. I know you wanted the ball to go to Larry a lot more, but
yeah,
gotta respect the game, I guess. Gotta respect David Johnson, but ultimately. This game, you thought Drew Brees would have got him the win. I would have thought that early on, but then came wrong. David Johnson.
Drew did his thing.
He did his thing. With the rest of his team, kind of just, DeMarco Murray did his thing, too. You can't really be mad at DeMarco Murray for 65 rush yards and a rushing touchdown. DeMarco Murray is the number 2 running back in fantasy this year. He's performing very well, especially in Tennessee. Just
a downhill running game, man. That's where he belongs.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, like I said, this was decided by one man. I thought it was decided by one man. It was actually decided by another, and that happens to be David Johnson. And I'm not sure, but he had a lot of people on by the Suge Knights, and he had to roll with some people that I don't think he would have normally rolled with.
And he still won.
And
those the ones you want.
Yeah, and then that's what an opponent of mine this week is I think is going to be hoping for, but that's a later subject, like I said. But I think that's pretty much it. There's nothing really going on with the bench here.
No, the bench was right, both of them.
Yeah, bench absolutely picked 100% right. So now moving on to Never Bowing Down and the Ballers, which rumor has it, folks, is this is our first inactive player. We don't know if Ballers.
Let's be real. Both of them might be a little bit inactive right
now. That's true. And maybe it's going to take one of those wins where you don't pay attention, you just get a couple wins and they start believing in themselves again. I don't think it's going to happen to both of them, but yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
I'll say Never Bound Down, judging off of his last week's game winning, because it was a decent performance. He put up the top three points this week for us in our league. So
and
I'm just looking at next week. He hasn't made any adjustments, and if he does that, he might get like 13 points in total. If he doesn't adjust something for next week.
That is true. He but yeah, this week surprise hit for me was, and I've been waiting for him for some reason for so many years to just actually have a really big game, because I feel like he's targeted a lot, but he's underrated. It's Cole Beasley of Dallas.
I was talking to Never Bowing Down. I'm like, I love this guy.
Yeah, I feel like he needs to be more target, especially now it's his time to shine. Dez is out. Dez be out a lot.
He was getting targets. That's how I noticed him. Dak Prescott utilizes him. It's like he kind of fits that Edelman Amendola can be in the slot, role, and for a young quarterback to utilize him the way he's doing is great for Cole Beasley. Because Cole's getting these touchdowns and he's getting the yards.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what you need. That's absolutely what you need, especially when your perceived star receiver is out for an undisputed amount of time. It's all right, man. It happens. We got to get these updates out here. We always on the grind out here.
Man, ESPN, I gotta know, man.
Gotta know. And everything else. I mean, you're looking. Terrell Pryor. I'm really happy for him that he's doing well. A little bit unhappy, kind of signed away to Cleveland, but you got to get your money. You got to get it, so you can't.
Terrell Pryor for MVP.
Yeah, he's playing really well. And
at every position that he could possibly play.
Absolutely. And he's definitely a good, accountable, I'd say, flex starter every week. Every week. Even though it's the Browns offense, you can go ahead and put him up there with Isaiah Crowell in terms of reliability, I think, right now. Isaiah Crowell. That team, as far as that team, because it's the Browns, I'm sorry for any Browns fans, I might be watching this being offended. It's just,
I hope the ballers aren't done, because you got Tyrod Taylor, and the running quarterbacks are the best quarterbacks you can have for fantasy. If they're playing at a high level because of how the points are distributed on fantasy, 10 yards is 1 point when you're running. 25 yards, I think, is 1 point if you're passing. Him getting a 100-yard game, rushing would be great, and then passing plus all the touchdowns is always good. So,
absolutely.
Having a running quarterback allows you a little bit more breathing room. They're gonna make mistakes. They'll lose fumbles, throw a couple picks, but they make up for those things running and getting touchdowns in multiple ways.
Yeah. One of the big reasons why one of my three quarterbacks, Andrew Luck, he had a big week because he rushed thing for like over 50 yards or something and had a touchdown. I was like, well, I wait for that kind of a little bit.
50 yards and touchdowns, 11 points.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's phenomenal. And he didn't have a great throwing day, but he still got me 20 plus points. Yeah. And I didn't use him, but it's to the fact that he's there and that he's reliable for me. I have three quarterbacks and that are all, you could arguably the top three. One of them just getting back. Top. Well, Andrew Luck is number 3. Andrew Luck's number 3, and Matt Ryan is number 1.
Is Luck the third?
Yes, he is.
He is.
Yes, go ahead, Jay.
I can't have this. Is that because Ben is hurt? Is that what?
No, it's not. It's because he's actually playing pretty good with that O-line.
Good football. Okay, all right, that's fine.
What
Matthew Stafford ranked? Is that
I think Matthew Stafford is like top 10. He got to be top 10, right?
Got to be top 10.
I mean, I would hope he's top 10.
My goodness, these Bills. Okay. We done with
we done with this and moving on to the finale. This is a sore spot right here, as you can tell from the deep breath taken by the commissioner over here. And you know what? I gotta say this right now. To you. I was talking to Isaiah, and I was telling him
was this a team name?
I can say it. You can say it. It gives my balls. I don't say it just because I just refuse to. I'm not gonna give him that satisfaction.
I'm not gonna say it either. That's fine.
Because
I should force him to change his name. I can do that.
You can do that. And you know what? I don't know. I don't know how to make him feel.
Isaiah, if you're watching, you have 2 weeks to come up with a new name. Otherwise, I will terminate your team indefinitely.
Wow. And that would shake up the league a lot. I mean, he's leading the league right now. But getting to my point, like, he has the least amount of points that he scores against opponents, and he has the least amount of points that's scored against him. So matchup wise, he's been very, very favorable, and he's been able to use that to his advantage, which is why he's off to such a phenomenal start. Now, you, Phil, unfortunately have the most points scored against you.
People go off against me,
and I think that's really. I mean, somebody has to be in that spot, obviously.
It's by it's me year to year.
It's hard. Yeah, people just have phenomenal games. Like Odell Beckham just had to come off and get this 30-point game. LaShawn McCoy,
30 points.
We can predict that more than Odell Beckham because he was going up against 49ers, who every running back they played against except for Todd Gurley, they have allowed 100 running.
Yeah, but Baltimore, they pass D ain't been that great. They've been getting exposed after the first 3 weeks.
That is true. That is true.
And
but still, 220. 200 yards. That's still couldn't say.
No, you're right.
That was bad. And there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You just sit back and just calm.
And my one of my best players, my most consistent player probably throughout this is the Vikings defense, and they were on bye.
Yeah, absolutely.
I went out and grabbed the Steelers defense, who knew Miami was going to treat them like a JV team. But even if I had picked everything right, it wouldn't have mattered. There's just those two plus Matt Jones going off against Philly. That was good. That was enough pretty much right there to beat me. Matthew Stafford, and going into this week, I basically had to choose out of Matthew Stafford and Phillip Rivers. Even though I thought the Chargers were going to pull off the upset, I didn't think Phillip Rivers was going to have a high-scoring affair. And he didn't. He only got 11.12 points. Matthew Stafford, on the other hand, going against the LA Rams, he got me 28.2 points. I picked right. Just Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Marshall, they didn't do enough. They had mediocre games at best. Jimmy Graham had more points than all of them. It wasn't a great week for me. When your top three performers are your kicker, Matthew Stafford, Le'Veon Bell, that's all I'm getting 10-plus points from, that's not good enough. So I'm looking to bounce back next week, and it's going to start with the fact that Ben is hurt. I expect him to hand that ball off more. Le'Veon Bell, and I'm going to stick with this, he's guaranteed to give you 12 points. He is literally averaging 120 yards per scrimmage, or 120 scrimmage yards per game, and that's 12 points from yards alone. Adding touchdowns, he is a great weapon. I'm glad I kept him. I drafted him, even though he was suspended the first 3 games. I knew he was going to come through, and he has so far. Ben being hurt, I'm expecting a 20-point game from him like every week now. I think the reality is my receivers, their quarterbacks, they're just not. They don't have great situations right now, unfortunately, and that's disappointing. So I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board with them. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't, but it's not all the way up to them. So unless Brock Osweiler and Carson Palmer and Larry Fitztragic, not Larry Fitz. I'm sorry, my fault. What's Fitzpatrick first name?
I think you got it right.
Oh,
I think that's pretty right.
Well, yeah.
It's all about Geno now again, anyways.
I guess. He came in and threw a pick. Or fumbled. My fault. He fumbled and then threw a pick. My bad.
That's why I'm done with that offense, man. Forte is off my team.
Thanks, Brandon Marshall. Do you know why I drafted Brandon Marshall? He bet Antonio Brown a new Porsche if he got more yards than him. So I'm like, well, if he's that confident in his game with his quarterback,
Hey, yeah, that's what's up.
And Brandon Marshall has always gone off. And he could. He's going to get majority of targets because Decker's gone, so I got that. Absolutely. I'm really waiting for Dez to come back, and I picked up Allen Hurns recently. Hopefully Allen Hurns can get something going, and then I won't be in dire need of receivers. I'm still trying. But like I said, if halfway through the season it's looking weary for me to get into the playoffs, I'm just going to hate on whoever come. I don't want nobody getting the playoffs if I can't get there. So
that's what's up. That's we're real competitive out here. We do not like to miss out on all the biggest spotlight moments. We want to be part of it. Absolutely.
All the time.
So moving on to our next segment, which is the Waiver Wire pickups. There's some interesting pickups. I had a lot of pickups this week, more than in recent weeks, that I think are going to be very important to my team. Some of which might not come into fruition right now. They might not come into importance later on. But we have some ads here. We have a couple of kickers. Josh Lamb, which I think he's the number 2 kicker. And look at this. October 21st at 12:09 from the Ballers, man. He's still here. He's with us.
Okay.
All right. He's somewhere in there, Somewhere that they're fighting. Isaiah's team he picked up. He heard about Josh Brown.
He heard about Josh Brown
for a lot of people did, I guess. He probably has those New York updates. So he He got that kicker over there. And a surprising pickup to me is Colin Kaepernick. If you know the Murder Boners, he is a 49ers fan. He believes in the 49ers. He is a fan. He's a true fan. Respect to him for that. However, I cannot agree with this pickup. I just can't do it. Even if he's going up against, it's like, Tampa Bay is not trash.
Can we talk about who he dropped for that?
Yeah, he dropped James. Who did he drop? Carson Wentz. He did drop. He dropped Carson Wentz.
He dropped Carson Wentz.
He did really. Wow. So that might be somebody's big. Hey, I need him for a bye week, or he might start going off again. I don't agree with that. I do agree with Jaquiz Rodgers. I do agree with that because he's going up against the 49ers. Terrible run. And that's the big thing when I'll get him into my matchup for next week is Jaquiz Rodgers. But other than that, there was Jay Ajayi I picked up. Jonathan Stewart, which I had no idea was. I thought somebody had kept on to him, but I didn't know. I didn't even know. I'm slipping. I didn't know he was in the.
I didn't either.
In the freaking free agency.
This
the
is
waiver
probably the hardest year to track all these players. People
it
have been
is.
getting dropped and picked up like crazy.
Yeah.
It is hard because I was looking for Cole Beasley for a while and found out somebody had him. I thought I was, being smarter than everybody else. I was wrong.
Man, it's hard to track some of these players. I think I've been pretty good on getting the players that I wanted, but I can easily say I would have easily picked up Jonathan Stewart over Jay Ajayi. I know he had a terrific game versus Pittsburgh. It was at home, so I will give them that. But still, that backfield has been absolutely abysmal all season long, and now it's he finally had a good game. He's going to be sitting on my bench this week. I got to see some more from him. I got to see some more because he's had 2 decent weeks. He's got 10 points the week before, this week 6 and week 5, and now he had that monster game. And I'm gonna see. And obviously the hunt for tight ends is never ending. Hunter Henry being picked up.
I'm not looking for no tight ends.
C.J. Fedorowicz being picked up by the Suge Knights. We are all desperate for tight ends except for the commissioner here, and except for the Motor Boners because he has Jordan Reed and Rob Gronkowski, which are both top tier tight ends.
And I have
healthy. Jimmy Graham and Travis Kelce, which are top tier tight ends. Hopefully.
And I also picked up Hunter Henry for 1 week. I tried to trade Demetrius for him before I.
Yeah, I didn't. I gotta say, I didn't believe in him like that. I didn't, and now
I didn't either because I dropped him, but I had the luxury. I got Travis Kelce and Jimmy Graham. I'm okay.
Yeah, and then it's hard. And the last thing I think of this week that I want to really talk about is the pickups of James White and Kenny Britt. And I'm taking a risk on Kenny Britt, and here's why. Kenny Britt, if you look at his numbers, he has really good yardage, and he's really on pace that he could possibly he's going to probably break over 1,000 yards, possibly even 1,300 yards if he continues up the looks that he's getting. For the fantasy standard wise, he has not been getting the touchdowns until this last week, where he should have had 3, but he did have 2, and he had a monster week.
I think we need to go back to the waiver wire just for a little bit. I just did some stuff.
Oh, so breaking news. We had a little intermission, if you say, in between, and
it was only like 30 seconds.
It was only like 30 seconds. It's gonna seem like nothing to y'all. Once it's put together, but so some waiver wire action has gone up, and I'm actually pretty upset about this. I gotta say, I'm actually pretty upset that Matt Forte was just picked up. By the what is this? What is this, man?
Let me tell you. Looking at my matchups, I have Le'Veon Bell against New England and Ryan Mathews against Minnesota. I also have Darren Sproles, who you all know, and if you don't, he's also on the Eagles like Ryan Mathews. Vikings aren't giving up a lot now. Since my Vikings are coming back, I need to, I don't need any other defenses. They won't be on bye for the rest. It's not like the defense can get injured. So I'm going to keep them in. I'm going to take the risk, whatever they've been producing for me, except for when they've been on bye. So I don't need the Steelers defense anymore. I see Matt Forte. I'm like, I like the matchup against Baltimore. I really do. And why not? If he's a full participant in practice, I think they say he's on pace to play the games against the Ravens. I'm going to mess with I'm gonna go with Matt Forte. I think he might be the pickup of the week.
Oh,
he might be the pickup of the week.
He might be the pickup of the week. Oh my goodness, that is a bold move, man. I'd have completely threw away that offense, but you got Brandon Marshall, so I guess you got some slimmer hope for that offense. I'm done with him.
The only reason why I have hope for Brandon Marshall and Matt Forte is because Fitzpatrick and I have no choice but to throw it to Brandon Marshall. His targets have increased double,
which is why he's still going to be productive,
right? And then Matt Forte, he's sometimes you can run, sometimes you can't. Running games,
But Bilal Powell, whatever you want me to call him.
Bilal Powell
has been getting more productive too. That's interesting. But you know what? Hopefully it works out for you. I did not see this happening this week.
Yeah,
I was gonna wait for people to see him get maybe like a 10 or 11 plus game. Like, he's back. Matt Forte's back.
Let's see. Sometimes I do that, but by that time it's too late.
That's very interesting. Wow.
So I'm gonna take the reality is Ryan Mathews plays against Minnesota. I don't have too many other options. I might look back on the waiver wire.
In the season, you told me you believed in your running backs.
I do, but I believe in my defense even more of the Vikings, and I don't.
That's true. They're going up against each other, so
yeah, and that's always a stressful situation.
Yes, it is.
It's always a stressful situation.
Isaiah last week, I think, came out of it really good with his defense and Melvin Gordon in Denver.
Yeah,
he came out really well.
Things worked out really well for him.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you don't think Forte, who else on this waiver wire as a running back? There's T.J. Yeldon.
I got the trades for you, man.
Johnson. Okay, man. I don't have nothing for you.
You do, Phil. Phil, I got it. Since we're on waiver wire transaction, I was so close to. Well, I wouldn't say I was so close, but Eric was feeling a little bit bad because he lost the game this last week, and he was getting all. When he loses, he told me he's like, yeah, I kind of get like really upset, and I started looking at heck of options. And he was asking me about Terrence West. And I was like, okay, let me see if I can do that, and work this out for her. And then ultimately he decided against it. But it was going to be Terrence West and any one of my receivers for Marvin Jones. If I'd have gotten Marvin Jones, I would have came to you for sure. You got Matt Stafford. I ought to try to get you those double points. And what I was going to ask for, honestly, I was going to ask for Jimmy Graham.
Believing in him now, man. Things change over some weeks,
They do. I told you it was going to be like this, and I didn't know.
Man, I had Hunter Henry and Jimmy Graham up for grabs, and you didn't want to do it. You could have had any one of my tight ends.
I could not. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like for what the time. I forgot what you were asking for.
Just LeGarrette.
Oh yeah, LeGarrette's too much of a safe card, even over Devontae. I just trust him so much with points.
True. He's a big back. Yeah. At the very least, he'll get the vulture.
Yeah, I'm saying he's going to get those, and he's going to get, like, if they blow out teams, which they're probably going to start doing, more so often, and it could be like this versus this Pittsburgh team. Although I know you're hoping against that because there's no Big Ben. Because if that happens, there'll be no handoffs to Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, but he also produces in the passing game. He's too important to the check down game. He's too important to that offense for me to not have confidence in him. They got blown out by Miami. He got me 12 points. I can't be mad at that.
Hey, that's true. That is absolutely true. Well, so this is the latest in the waiver wire action. Matt Forte is back in our rotation in our league. Best of luck to him. I will never have to see him again. I'm done with him, so he's someone else's headache now. But
it's just 1 week until I get the matchups I like. Besides, I had the space.
All right. So now moving on to our predictions and our hopes and dreams for what's going to happen this week. Our matchups. I've got a matchup versus. I got to say, I lightweight have a dream matchup versus one of the highest scoring teams in the league, and that is the Murder Boners. And let me tell you why. Colin, like you see these I don't know if you guys. Okay, you guys can't see these predictions on here, but the predictions for Jacquizz Rodgers and for Colin Kaepernick exceed 40 points. I don't know why. I can understand maybe Jacquizz Rodgers, but I don't understand Colin Kaepernick. I don't know if they really.
What is that? Did nothing.
Colin
Kaepernick is a running quarterback.
They shut down Cam, who's a running quarterback.
Everybody shut down Cam except for the Saints this year and a couple. Yeah, I don't know.
Everybody been shut down the 40. I don't know. I don't know. But if they get 40 points, then I'm just gonna accept my loss because I can't see that happening.
He must have been real desperate.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he really was because that's why Ben is hurt, and he definitely didn't want to come to me. Nobody wants to come to me. I've established that. that nobody wants to mess with me and my quarterbacks. I don't know why, but they feel like I want too much for them. I really don't, unless it's Tom Brady because it's Tom Brady. But hey, but for the first time, I'm not going to be getting yelled at by my peers. I'm starting Matt Ryan, who's the number 1 fantasy quarterback and hasn't seen any action in our league whatsoever. And
You're going to start Matt Ryan
at home versus San Diego
over Tom Brady.
Yes, and it was somebody else. Zay also brought this up. He was
over Andrew Luck at Tennessee.
Yes, over Andrew Luck at Tennessee. They've been shutting teams down, having low scoring affairs. Tennessee.
And Andrew Luck has been coming up.
He has, but okay. First, can I go wrong with Matt Ryan? Can I go wrong with Matt Ryan? At the end of the day, Tom Brady's probably going to get him maybe 2 or 3 more points than Matt Ryan is.
Hey, you seen what happened the last time he played? He won by 0.6 points.
He did.
You might need 2 or 3 points to win this game.
I do, but I trust Matt. He's been playing so well. I've got to give him some. I can't just have him sit here.
I respect it.
Like, it's versus San Diego at home. He's the number 1.
To have. You're like the Cowboys.
It is not a problem for me. I have legitimacy at my quarterback position every week, no matter what. I'm expecting 20-plus points from whoever I put in. That's just the way of the matter it is because I have that type of firepower at the quarterback position.
You do.
If this was another league where we played 2 quarterbacks, I might be undefeated. But that's not the case. And I'm 2-4. So yeah. I can dream all I want, but I've got pretty good matchups.
Another league where I had a better schedule, I might be undefeated too.
But man, Devontae Freeman, I need a big game from him. I need a big game from Kenny Britt. I do. I need a big game from Kenny Britt, y'all. Reasons being, I don't know about my other receivers. I mean, Jarvis Landry can go ahead and get his yards, but I don't know if he's going to get a touchdown. And Demaryius Thomas, I don't know. Like, what's going on with the quarterback? What's going on with Trevor Siemian? Is his head in where it needs to be? I don't know. Like, and it's a Monday night, too, versus Houston. I'm really scared for him. What I don't
let me say this. I'm not as scared for him. The reason why I knew they were going to lose that game against San Diego is because they're coming off a short week. And the quarterback position, Trevor Siemian, was coming off the injury. I felt like he was being rushed back because they didn't think Paxton was ready. And the biggest issue, Gary Kubiak wasn't there.
Yeah.
Your head coach isn't there, and your special teams coordinator becomes the head coach for a game. You know, it just wasn't that pretty of a situation for Denver in general. I think Demaryius Thomas will do okay against Houston. Jarvis Landry, you have some legitimate. No, that's you.
I don't know. It's a divisional match, and they're playing at home, but like Buffalo versus Tyron Tannehill. I think he's beat them once. I think he's beat them once in his career.
Oh well.
It's just bad. You know, I just need Jarvis to get the yards. Jarvis could give me the yards like 9, 10 points. Yeah. I'll be fine. You know, I don't expect no touchdown from him because this just could be one of those terrible games. But LeGarrette Blount, I'm expecting a touchdown. You know, maybe 40-something yards and touchdown. That's what he do.
Good for
that's
us.
They say, yeah. You know, that helps a lot.
Good to have 10 points consistently.
Yeah, that's what you need. And then on this side,
exactly why I want to LeGarrette Blount. I feel like him and Le'Veon Bell are the most reliable running backs.
Yeah, that is true. I'd say that.
As far as fantasy is concerned.
David Johnson might be ready to sneak up in there, though.
Well, yeah, at this point, I say reliable meaning
consistent points.
Consistent points,
David
Johnson
Johnson is just killing.
You know what I'm saying? Because him and DeMarco Murray, David Johnson.
They're consistent plus boom.
Plus boom. This year, definitely.
Yeah.
So.
And on his side, he's got Jaquiz Rogers and Isaiah Crowell could be really big for him. I don't see his receivers doing that much. Michael Crabtree could have.
You never know.
You never know.
Carr spreads the ball around.
Yes.
So 3 touchdowns or none. And realistically, I watched that Raiders game. Michael Crabtree was open pretty much. He put a move on Marcus Peters, and it was a rain game. Derek Carr wasn't on balance, and he threw that pick instead. Yeah. But the reality was Crabtree was open. So I've been watching his footwork, and I think it's improved. He runs some amazing routes now. So yeah.
On top of his amazing hands,
this is a bounce back game for the Raiders.
They've been playing better on the road at home.
Unfortunately, like we've had some circumstances.
Yeah.
But I think they'll get it together all the way.
Moving on to Isaiah's team in the Suge Knights, already off to a fiery start. 17 points and 24 points. You know, that'd be good Randall Cobb had a really good week. You're like, okay, that's what's up. But I think Isaiah has the advantage right now going on for it because Randall Cobb went off, and although he only has 70 points to his 23 points or 23,
24
points. Okay,
because he had 2 people in.
Oh my God!
Yeah, whoever Jackson is, he only got 0.6 points.
Oh,
they were using.
Tyrod Montgomery and Randall Cobb to
run the ball.
So the people who I saw the running backs were these Green
Bay. But there was just a trade. They have Nile Davis now.
Oh, they do.
The Packers got Nile Davis.
Isn't he the tight end?
No. From remember the running back a couple years ago that went off in
Kansas City. So they got Niles Davis now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna see what he doing in the waiver wire pickups, man. You might be talking about him.
A couple weeks.
Yeah. Shoot. But for this matchup right here, AC/DC, this should be a woo. Yeah. This should be.
They've been hitting their stride recently.
I was about to say this should be one for the Bucks for them.
Yeah, this is the game I want to watch. I hope it's a shootout. Actually,
I need Julius Thomas to get his little few yards and a touchdown somehow.
He gonna get that.
I hope so.
He gonna get that.
I don't know, but this is it's gonna be big. The thing I am concerned about for Isaiah's team here is his situation with his New Orleans players. They're playing in Kansas City. That's not going to be easy for them.
No.
That in no way, shape, or form that's going to be easy for them. And Melvin Gordon in San Diego. I mean, Melvin Gordon in Atlanta. At Atlanta is going to be a little iffy too. A little iffy, but he's still more reliable than I think Kobe Fleener and Mark Ingram will be.
I think Kobe Fleener will be a little more reliable than Mark Ingram.
Yeah,
because KC, we see year after year they start off a little slow, but when they start hitting that stride.
Except for that one year when they started off like 10-0.
It was the opposite.
Yeah, they didn't do nothing.
It was the opposite. Yeah,
but they had injuries to be fair.
That's what happens when they get to the playoffs either way. Injuries.
Yeah, they training staff needs to step it up. I don't know what they're doing. They players. But still, they don't have a worse training staff in my opinion. I'm sorry if I offend anybody here. They don't have a worse training staff than the Chargers. Because just everybody on the Chargers just gets injured. And the Browns are up there too.
They just need a new organization. Well, they already did that. They became the Ravens, so I don't.
That's like a funny.
What happens this time around?
I don't know. I mean, they gonna stay. You know what they're doing? The Browns are slacking. The Cleveland Indians are in the Cleveland Indians are in the World Series. The Cavaliers just won. The Browns is looking like, okay, we only have success around here in Cleveland. Cleveland's starting to think that they might move. I don't know. But getting back to topic, moving on to the third matchup. The kid got next, and never bound down. Now, man, he's taken 2 L's in a row now. I think that's messed with Eric. He's getting all a little bit nervous. Yeah,
bring him off his high horse a little bit.
Yeah, we need Zay to lose this week too, and all this stuff. But as you can see, looking right here, never bowing down. He's got to get it in order to compete here. He's gonna have to get his stuff together. He's really gonna have to.
I don't think he's looked at his roster yet. I'm gonna go and say he hasn't.
Yeah, because he's got some pieces missing. And he's got some.
He has no kicker in. His flex position is on bye. His quarterback position is on bye. And as far as his matchups, well, first of all, he needs to take out his second running back.
Yeah, and Terrell Pryor, I think, should be in there because it's like really, you look at everybody else, like, I think Terrell Pryor, he needs to be in that flex position.
He needs to be in the flex position.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I would say James White, but James White is you don't know. Like, you really don't know with that offense. The only person you can really be happy with is Tom Brady and LeGarrette Blount and Gronkowski. Next is our commish going up against the Balls, another iffy, inactive person. So I know you're not gonna exactly count your chickens before they hatch, but you're like, okay, I think things are in my favor right now.
Yeah, even if
there's Julio Jones.
Yeah, that's the only person I'm worried about. Delaney should go off if he's healthy.
Yeah, Delaney should do the thing. And he did. Yes. I don't know. I think like I said, I don't like to call stuff heck early, but I completely missed the fact he didn't move Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, he didn't.
Ouch.
He didn't have Alshon in, which is good, I guess, because Alshon only got 3 points.
I think he should have had Allen in, but it might be too late for that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not too late. You can obviously put him in over Sterling Shepard, but he should have him in.
So we'll see. Should be in. I mean, but it's up to what he wants, and even then, that's not a guarantee. Maybe we should both put our.
Like I said, because we know, unfortunately for your sake, people like to just all of a sudden go off. Freaking, Delaney Walker could just go off. Carlos Hyde could easily go off for some reason because he's actually the surprise, really good part of their offense is Carlos Hyde. But then C.J. Anderson, who knows which C.J. Anderson is going to show up on Monday night. We don't know. We don't know how Denver's going to come in playing. They got a home game, so hopefully they come out firing for my sake.
Look, they got the Vikings defense. I'm happy against. I like that matchup against everybody. Justin Tucker going against the Jets. I think he should get some kicks in. Hopefully, seeing has the offense of the Ravens have struggled a little bit. And I think Brandon Marshall, again, is about to get at least 15 targets. He'll catch at least half, and I'll be happy with that. I think I'm going to take Travis Kelce against New Orleans over Jimmy Graham against Arizona. Arizona might be picking it up. I'm going to wait and see for sure, but I don't think New Orleans has really stopped anybody too much yet. I mean, they've played some monster games, but their defense hasn't stopped too many people that I think of. I'm gonna take Mathews versus Washington, but I don't know. I'm liking the matchup. The projection is heavily in my favor by 20 points right now.
Yeah, but we all know that's projection.
It is projection, right? But we'll see. Yeah. I might make some changes. I get real antsy closer it is to game time. I start moving a lot of pieces. But I'm confident in this one, but then again, I'm confident in every game I go into. So I think I'll come out with this W. Hopefully get on track. Nothing's too far out of reach, Get you a little streak going 4 games in, and you ranked in the middle of the pack, and then,
Yeah, I say go from there. It's still relatively early. It's almost to the middle of the season. But for fantasy wise, we're getting to that, really needs to start grinding, these are key decisions, every week is getting harsher and harsher.
Out of 10 people in the league, I'm ranked 8th right now, and the top 4 gets into the playoffs. I only got to go 4 spots. That's the way I see it.
Yeah. And we're basically one game back because there's 2 people who are 4-2 and one person who's 5-1. So realistically, I'm 3 games out of first, which could easily just slide in any direction. It can happen. I mean, but
kid got next. Already lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, like I said, it is. Like I said, I predicted it from the beginning. It's gonna be a tough year, and people gonna be really upset when they don't make it. I might be one of them. Like I said, if I don't make it this year, and I gotta watch it and playing those nasty consolation games. I'm a sport. I'm competitive. I'll play and I'll pay attention.
I'm not to that extent. Nope.
It just feels so bad. I've never had to do that though. So I don't know how I take it watching other people compete for the trophy, and I'm here, and come week 15, looking for consolation. Yeah. Nothing even goes in my trophy room. It's just, but hopefully that's a scenario that doesn't come to life for me. I need to make a playoff run here. Moving on to the last matchup, the ESO Legends, the red hot ESO Legends, who are 3-0, not 3-0, but are on a 3-game winning streak, and are looking to continue to be on a 4-game winning streak because Force has a combined of 3 points, and he's played 2 players. I mean, he got let down by 2 of his heaviest hitters.
Yeah, Howard, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
I didn't see that happen.
He got let down, and Jordy Nelson, everybody except for Jordy Nelson happened to
everybody got some.
I mean, Ty Montgomery, Devontae Adams, Randall Cobb, they all got a piece of the ball, but Jordy Nelson was
Jordy's lowest total of the season.
Yeah, so. Which is really, really unfortunate. And see, he's made this. He does have Will Fuller in now. He has Will Fuller, and he took Will Fuller out for earlier. He had Emmanuel Sanders in.
I'm not gonna just give it to ESO Legends, man. I see the effort Force is giving right now. He got Hunter Henry in now.
Yeah, he does have Hunter.
He's paying attention.
Yeah, like I said, Antonio Brown could, but I don't know, the Big Ben situation. That's scary. And then Andy Dalton, of course, could go off, but then again, he could not because this is interstate rival. Because you don't know, the Browns might just be like the Browns. I think the best way I heard some analysts say the this year have been the most competitive losers in the entire NFL because they've been losing games, but they've been losing them competitively. If that makes any sense, they've been losing them basically like hard-fought games where they just couldn't pull it out at the end. Which sucks if you're a Browns fan to watch that every week, I'd imagine. But at least they've been giving effort and getting your fantasy points if you have any Browns players. So we've covered a lot. This is one of the longer episodes. We had a lot to cover this week. And, man, we're fighting for a lot here. Things are getting really, really grind mode. It's getting to that time. Everybody, you're going to come back every week. Everybody's going to be a little bit more stressed and tense every time. They come each week to week going forward on the show, especially me because I got to deal with all this and put this together and just man, it's getting to that time. Fantasy players, you guys know what time it is. The times for mistakes are dropping more and more each and every day. So hopefully we make the right decisions here, and we both come up with W's this week.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So with that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And also turn on notifications. There's been having some weird thing with YouTube where notifications have been getting turned off of YouTubers stuff and people are not getting informed. That's what I've been hearing. Other YouTubers have been complaining about it too. And it seems every so once in a while YouTube does this where they tweak some stuff and it automatically turns everybody's notifications off. So just subscribe. Just make sure you go to my website. You just go to my site, my channel, and you hit that little bell icon that's right at the home page and turn on notifications. That way you guys get notified every time I make a video. So I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, I'm Demetrius Mack, and we're out. Peace.